My hand shakes around the glass. I cannot show weakness. Amanda, you will never be enough. Her words slice deeper than a knife. The chandelier sparkles, mocking me. The table feels colder than ice. Silence suffocates the room. We gather to celebrate Sierra. Her win, my erasure. I worked all day, rushed here. No one even noticed. Mom raises her hand, silencing Sierra. Stability versus ambition, she says. My life reduced to a comparison. Dad studies his plate in silence. Sierra glows in her red dress. Her hair flawless, her smile sharp. Mom wears the pearls I gave her. She saved them only for Sierra's nights. 2 years of silence boil inside me. I stand. My heart pounds. I lay mortgage papers on the table. I have been paying for this house. Shock flickers in her eyes. She hides it fast with a smirk. That is what family does, she says. Her words sting like venom. My chest burns with rage. I remember graduation day. Sierra got a new car. I got a coffee mug. They said she needed support. 2 years later, I'm still paying. This is no longer temporary help. Mom calls me selfish, her voice sharp as glass. I pull out my receipts, 2 years of bank statements, proof of every sacrifice. I am not your ATM. My voice does not shake. Dad pleads for patience. I am out of patience. The air grows heavy. Sierra looks lost. What is happening? She asks. No one answers her. Mom's eyes narrow at me. Dad stares at the ceiling. They refuse to face me. I realize the truth. Their love is conditional, measured only in money. I feel invisible, a ghost at my own table. I gather my purse. I gather my courage. I will not play along. I will not be used. I will not stay silent. I stand taller now. Mom's face hardens. She sees I am serious. You are making a mistake. Her words drip like poison. Why are you so selfish? I have given enough, I whisper, but firm. The table shakes with tension. Every eye locked on me. Dad's jaw tightens. Sierra's eyes water. Mom leans back, cold. The weight of years hits me. I see it clearly now. I was never their choice, only their safety net, and I'm done. I breathe deeply, my voice sharp as steel. I am stepping away. From dinners, from lies, from this charade. Mom glares at me. Her voice shakes. You will regret this. Family is all we have. Her words echo, but I already know. Family should mean love, not obligation, not endless sacrifice, not silence. Tonight, I choose me. I choose freedom. I choose my own worth. My voice steady, my heart racing. But for once, I feel alive. I pause at the doorway and feel light. If this is family, then I have nothing. A full week crawls by after the blow-up. Only a few short notes from Sierra. My parents stay silent like I vanished. Then, on Thursday afternoon, the phone rings. Mom asks me to sort her taxes. Since you are good with numbers, she says. It praises my skill and ignores my career. I show up to finish it fast. I never meant to discover anything, but the desk is a storm of paper. I sift and stack and breathe. Then I see a name that freezes me. My own name on a loan line. A student loan note tied to Sierra? The words blur, then snap into focus. A payment for $19400 marked complete. The transfer lists my account number. My hands shake as I turn more pages. There are car notes and more statements. I feel my stomach knot hard. Breath grows thin, tight, and hot. This is not a one-time favor. This is not temporary help. This looks planned and routine. Footsteps at my back pull me around. Mom stands in the doorway, very calm. Her pearl necklace shines like a stamp. "Did you find the interest forms?" she asks. Her eyes catch the papers in my hands. Her face flickers. Not guilt, but bother. She looks annoyed that I noticed. "What is this?" I ask again. The words sound far away from me. They echo in the quiet room. Dad appears behind her, blinking slow. His reading glasses sit on his head. Sierra is in the hall, thumbing her phone. She barely looks up at us. "Amanda, do not make a scene," Mom says. She steps into the office slowly. Dad follows, and they stand over me. I sit in the leather chair and wait. The ledger lies open like a confession. Numbers stare back without mercy. "You used my money to clear loans for Sierra," I say, and point to the line. 19,400 in one hit. Mom flicks her hand like it is nothing. "You were helping the family," she says. "Her loans were the most urgent need." "And the car?" I ask and hold a page. 3,600 last year. "Transportation keeps her work moving," Dad says. "She meets clients and must be on time." "And what about these cards?" I ask. I fan out pages like a deck. 9,200 on clothes and meals. "A polished image matters in marketing," Mom answers without a pause. Her tone is smooth and final. I look at Sierra at last. She pockets the phone and shrugs. "I did not ask for any of this," she says. "Mom said you were happy to help." The room shrinks around my shoulders. The walls move closer, inch by inch. 2 years, I thought I was helping. But I was funding a lifestyle. "She needs freedom to build," Dad says, as if this truth should comfort me. "You are stable," he adds. Stable, like a workhorse, reliable and dull. The steady daughter who props up the star. I push back from the desk and stand. I need air. I need space. My own student loans are not done. Every extra dollar went to this house and to your bills without a word. "That is different," Mom says flat. "Your work does not need the same polish." The comparison hangs between us. Software in the back versus faces in front. Invisible versus celebrated, it says. I ask if they see my future at all. "Do you see what this cost will do? If I carry everyone, I will have nothing." My voice is steady now and clear. Mom blinks at me in true confusion. "Family supports family," she repeats. It is the lesson she carved into us. "Sierra has a wedding soon," she adds. A new light sparks in her eyes. "Of course you will help with that too." "She deserves a flawless day," she says. The casual demand knocks the wind out of me. I grab the ledger and flip to the end. I show them the totals I kept by month. Every transfer tracked to the last page. The final total stares back at me. Total is $61,000. $61,000. 2 years of house notes and student loans and car notes and credit cards. $61,000 to hold this family up while they called me the lesser one? I close the ledger with shaking hands. I see how I funded their favorites. I paid for the story that erased me. That afternoon, I meet Diane at our cafe. She is my colleague and my one friend. We sit with coffee going cold. She studies the pages line by line. "This is not normal help," she says.
She shuts the book and pushes it back. This is exploitation. The word lands like a blow. Not duty, not love, a taking, a deliberate use of me. I drive home with copies in my bag. My mind fights a hard choice. Do I cut all support now or taper it and pay more months? If I stop now, ties may snap. If I delay, I'd bleed longer. Either path costs me something. Both ask for a price I am tired of paying. What do you do when love is a ledger? When worth is what you give away? When the well runs dry inside you and they still ask for more? I stare at the ceiling and think about the lines I must draw. By next Wednesday, my phone will not stop. My cousin calls again and again. There will be a family emergency meeting. They expect me there and paying. I plan to not go. I silence the phone and set it down. It lights up at once again. The reunion is all anyone says. "Are you dodging someone?" Diane asked. Her brow lifts over the cubicle wall. "Mom planned a reunion without me," I say. "Now she wants me to fund it?" Diane stares. "The nerve," she says, "after everything they already took." I open email and there they are. Notes from aunts and uncles I never hear from. Each one asking with soft words. Each one pointing at my wallet. They all share the same request. The family needs help, and I am the helper. "Did you know about the reunion?" I ask. Diane shakes her head no. "Your sister's engagement is everywhere," she says. She turns her screen toward me. "Your mother tagged the whole world. Everyone except you." Sierra beams on the screen with the ring. The diamond flashes on her left hand. The caption brags about a grand party. "Planning the celebration of the century for my beautiful daughter," it says. I read the first comment and freeze. "Amanda will help make it perfect." I am the family ATM once again. They make promises with my money. They do it without asking me. That night, I curl on my couch, a hot mug of tea in my hands. I scroll through post after post. A photo stops my thumb cold. My parents and Sierra in Las Vegas. They pose with bright drinks and smiles. The date is 5 weeks ago. The same weekend I worked overtime. I covered an emergency property tax. They raised glasses with my money. They told me they could not make ends meet. They still took a trip and smiled. In the days after that, I barely sleep. Rest becomes a luxury I cannot afford. Night after night, I lie awake. I run numbers through my head. How much I gave, how much they took, how much is left from me. The math sits heavy on my chest. Breathing turns thin and tight. At work, my focus slips in meetings. I drift to my own second notice. My student loan past due again, while hers were paid with my checks. "You look exhausted," my boss says. It's the first deadline I've missed. 3 straight years, never late. I say I'm fine, but my eyes say otherwise. The dark circles tell the truth. I start a journal to track my lines. I log every call, every ask, every dollar. The small leather book never leaves me. It becomes my shield and witness. Page by page, the truth appears. A pattern of push and pull. Years of silent pressure and ink. Praise for Sierra always followed by asks. Then the guilt when I pause. I pay for dinners and barely exist. Evidence stacks until it cannot be ignored. Line after line of record of drain. It is systematic and cold. It is exploitation in daylight. One Tuesday, I sort documents again. "Amanda," a voice calls behind me. I turn at the office door. Uncle Frank waits by the elevator, his face lined with concern. "Uncle Frank," I say, surprised. "What brings you here today?" "I came to find you," he says. "You missed 3 gatherings. That is not like you at all." I lower my eyes without words. "You were the backbone," he says. "Maybe they leaned too hard on you. Maybe they used that strength." His kindness hits me fast. My eyes sting and I breathe slow. Saturday, I stand in the kitchen. Sierra skims bridal magazines. Mom circles venues in red. Her pen moves like a gavel. The club deposit is due next week. Sierra deserves a perfect event. You will cover the venue next week. It is not a question. A clean break snaps inside me. I am not paying another cent. My voice is steady and clear. For anything at all. Silence falls like a curtain. Sierra lifts her head. Mom freezes, pen mid-circle. "Don't be ridiculous," she says, but doubt flickers in her eyes. "I'm serious," I continue. Calm power settles in my chest. I paid the house, the loans, the cards, the car, the extras. I am done now, and done for good. Mom's mouth opens and shuts. She searches for old tricks, but they fall flat today. For once, I see the playbook. Guilt, comparison, and soft insults, wrapped as care to keep me paying. I financed my own dismissal. "You cannot just stop," she begins. "I can," I say, "and I will." Next day, Diane spreads spreadsheets. A calculator clicks on her table. Without their drain, she circles a line. "You could clear your loans in 3 years, not 15 like before." The number looks like freedom, a future I've barely allowed myself. That evening, Uncle Frank calls. "I spoke to your mother," he says. "She is not happy," I say. "I know." "Good," he says, firm and kind. "Some lessons arrive the hard way. I am proud you set a boundary." That night, I open my laptop. I search for work beyond Austin. Seattle listings catch my eye. Higher pay and fresh teams. A clean start far from Texas. I picture a life built for me. My needs, my goals, my time. Morning comes with a plan. I go to the bank for records. Every transaction for 2 years. The clerk blinks at the volume, but prints the stack without comment. Hours later, I sort the pile. Dates in order, highlighter ready. I mark every transfer to my parents. Then I spot a new statement, an account I've never seen. The balance breaks the story. It contradicts every claim of need. He hid money while I bled mine. My savings drained for them. My phone rings as it sinks in. Mom's name flashes on the screen. "We're holding an emergency meeting. Family responsibilities tomorrow," she announces without hello. The mortgage is first on the list. The mortgage payment did not arrive, I know. I feel calmer than I have in years. I told you I am done paying. "This is not a game, Amanda. Be here 6 o'clock. She snaps and ends the call. I stare at the spread of proof on my table, years of pressure and use now in plain view. For the first time, I hold the leverage. I whisper to myself, I will be there with receipts. Tuesday after work, I drive over early. I park my Toyota 2 houses down. The binder on the seat feels heavy, 3 inches thick with 2 years of drain. every page dated, every dollar tracked. Uncle Frank's words echo in my head. Do not let them set the story. The house smells like lemon polish. I step in without knocking and breathe once. The dining room looks like a throne room. They sit at the ends like quiet rulers. Sierra perches between them, scrolling. "You are early," Mom says, surprised. The look fades and her mask returns. I set the binder in the center. The soft thud draws every eye. "I wanted to give us time," I say. "Time for what?" Dad asks, guarded. "To review what I paid for these 2 years. I open to the first tab, mortgage, highlights, confirmations, and a running total. "Let us begin with the house," I say. 24 payments at $1,200 each. The subtotal is $28,800. Mom frowns. That cannot be right. "Next section, student loans," I say. "Not mine, Sierra's. 19,400. Dad pales. His fingers tap the table. We move to car notes, 3,600. I flip again to the credit cards. Clothing, meals, and work trips, 9,200. Sierra's phone slips and hits the wood. That's more than 3 months of pay. The grand total, I say, and show the page, highlighted in yellow, 61,000. Mom's lips press into a thin line. "You're exaggerating. Half were gifts." "You offered to help," she adds. "I have proof for every dollar," I say. I place a folder of copies beside it, every check, every transfer receipt. The stack lands with a solid weight. "We can go line by line if you like." "This is ridiculous," Dad mutters, eyes lowered. Sierra reaches for the folder slowly. Pages flutter under her shaking hands. Her confidence thins and slips away. She stops at a suit receipt and stares. "I didn't know," she whispers. "Mom said you were glad to help." Sierra looks up with clouded eyes. "She said you had extra with tech pay." Extra money? I laugh once, and it is hard. My own student loans are still due. I delayed dental work to cover them. There was never extra money, not once. Sierra asks why I never told her. I paused with the words on my tongue. Do I reveal the promise they demanded, or let her see the truth herself? The doorbell rings before I answer. "Perfect timing," Mom says, smoothing her sweater. "We are in the middle of something." "That will be Uncle Frank," I say. I asked him to join. Dad's head snaps up at the name. "Frank? Why would you bring him?" The bell rings again down the hall. Footsteps approach, and the air tightens. Sierra glances between us in silence. Her hands rest flat on the table. Mom forces a smile and turns away. Her eyes harden as she walks. Dad straightens and smooths his tie. He squares his shoulders to the door. I close the binder and keep my copies. The folder stays beneath my hand. The knob turns and the door opens. Uncle Frank steps in with steady eyes. "Evening," he says, and takes a seat. No one speaks for a long second. He looks at each of us, then at the stack. "Let us hear the numbers, and then we will hear the truth." Mom bristles but nods once. Dad clears his throat and sits back. Sierra folds her hands together. I open the binder to the summary. I tap the line that shows the total. 61,000 across 2 hard years. Uncle Frank looks up and waits for Dad to answer. Uncle Frank's voice rolls from the entry. "Hello, everyone," he says as he steps in. "You are not late," I answer without flinching. Mom's face tightens as he sits by me. He nods at the binder between us. I see Amanda is showing the figures. "You knew about this?" Mom asks stiffly. "I suspected. he says, his tone flat. Family helps in crisis, not forever. What you did to Amanda is not right. Not a standing arrangement, he adds. This crossed the line long ago. Silence lands like weight on the table. Mom looks from him back to me. She sees the story slipping away. I am no longer standing alone. Sierra breaks the quiet with a thought. Jenna asked why Amanda stopped coming. She said it felt like something was wrong. Friends do not get our dynamics, Mom says. Her voice tries to sound sure, but the edge of doubt is there. The Hendersons called last week, Frank adds. They asked about rumors of trouble. Trouble while spending on luxury. Mom shifts. Dad stares at the floor. That is none of their business, Dad snaps. But he will not meet our eyes. The room goes still again. Sierra looks down as her phone pings. A new message lights her screen. She frowns and glances up slowly. It's from the mortgage company, she says. They're sending a late notice today. Dad slumps. Mom loses her mask. Cracks show in the careful facade. The cards start to fall at last. For once, I do not rush to hold them up. 2 days later, we sit in the kitchen. Dust gathers in the morning light. The room feels smaller now, less power in the space between us. Dad slides a paper across. Amanda, we've been thinking, he says. He clears his throat and avoids my eyes. We hear your concerns about money. Mom nods toward a stack of past due. Family should name each gift given. We did not do that enough for you. The words sound practiced and thin. I watch the tells I used to miss. Dad's fingers drum a nervous beat. Mom keeps hiding bills under a cookbook. We have a compromise, she says. If you resume the mortgage payments, we will tell everyone how much you help. Sierra too, Dad adds with a nod. Think about what you risk, Amanda. Family ties do not mend once they break. Is that what you want? He asks. Their words hang like a final bid. 2 months ago, I might have bent. 2 weeks ago, I might have bargained. Today, I open my laptop instead. I've accepted a new role, I say. I turn the screen to face them. Software architect at Meridian Tech. In Seattle. I start next month. Color drains from Mom's face. Seattle is across the country, she says. The salary is $135,000, I add and pull up my budget. That is $33,000 more than now. Dad leans in and starts to smile. That is wonderful, honey, but, he begins. Without funding this house, I cut in. I will save about $3,200 each month. Mom's mouth goes thin as a wire. You cannot just leave, she says. I've been paying to be disrespected. That deal is over now and for good. Dad reaches for my hand. I pull away. Amanda, be reasonable, he pleads. I'm being reasonable, I answer. For the first time in years, I am. My phone buzzes. A text from Uncle Frank. Everyone is here, ready when you are. I stand and close the laptop. I pick up my keys and breathe deep. I have a boundary to hold now. I have a future to protect. Mom watches me with fear and anger mixed. Dad looks small in his chair. This time, I do not shrink to fit their needs. I walk toward the door with steady steps. The choice is mine, and I make it. The air feels lighter on my skin. A new chapter waits past the porch. Uncle Frank texts again. I'm outside. I text back, on my way, and step out. I close the laptop and stand. Sierra's dinner begins in 30 minutes. My parents follow a step behind. The restaurant hums with talk and silverware. I enter the private room Uncle Frank reserved. Sierra sits at the head and cream. Aunts, uncles, and cousins crowd around. Faces I have not seen in months. My parents trail me in, confused and tense. "What is this about?" Mom whispers hard. I do not answer and keep walking. I stop before Sierra and meet her eyes. Her smile fades when she reads my face. "Amanda, what is going on?" she asks. I set a wrapped box in front of her. Silver paper glints under the light. I want to show everyone something. The room quiets at the sound of my voice. "Open it," I say, and step back. Sierra peels the paper with careful hands. Inside of the leather portfolio of records, every receipt and statement from 2 years. Here is my gift, the truth. Who has been paying and how much? She flips pages and her face changes. Confusion turns to shock line by line. "It is all there," I say softly. 61,000 over 2 years. Sierra looks up with wet eyes. She turns toward our parents at the door. "How could you?" she asks, and the room holds still. Mom steps forward. "This is not the place." "No," Sierra says, firm and clear. "We fix this now, not later." Uncle Frank arises. "Your sister carried you all," he says. Aunt Patricia gasped. "Is this true?" Murmurs ripple and eyes turn sharp. Dad studies the floor in silence. Sierra stands and walks to me. She clutches the portfolio to her chest. "I never knew you carried this for me." Her voice shakes and a tear falls. "From now on, live for yourself." The room watches as she faces them. She asks the questions I asked for years. A knot inside me starts to loosen. Obligation uncoils and slips away. Days later, Uncle Frank brings news. My parents may sell the house. "Without my checks, they cannot keep up. I wonder if anything can be saved, or if I even want to try." I tape another box in my apartment, kitchen in bold black marker. Seattle waits with a new job, a new home, and a clean start. I wrap glasses in old newspaper. A photo album slips from a shelf. I open to faded family trips, holidays, and birthdays with smiling faces. They look like strangers now. I close it and mark undecided. 6 months later, sun pours into my place. Warm gold across the small table. My loan app pings with an update. Balance down another 2,400. No mortgage for my parents now, no cart bailouts for Sierra, only my own path paid in cash, one payment at a time toward freedom. My laptop chimes with a video call. Diane smiles from her kitchen in Atlanta. "Look at you," she says bright. "Seattle looks good on you." "You seem lighter," she adds. I sit taller in my chair. I closed 2 big projects this quarter. Team lead says promotion by December, and no one taking credit this time. I laugh from my belly for real. It is new, not shrinking to fit others. I don't dim wins to keep peace. Diane sips from an oversized mug. "What about that hiking group you found?" "They plan a weekend trip to Mount Rainier next month under clear skies." I hesitate and then smile. I think I will say yes. New trails, new friends, new breath. My phone buzzes with a new text. It's from Sierra this time. "I'm proud of you," it reads. Simple and true. I type back, "Proud of you too." Then I add, "See you on my terms." I close the chat and breathe in. The morning smells like rain and pine. The city hums beyond the glass. My life hums with it, bright and new. A future of my own making. I whisper, yes. I add that I have been seeing someone. Nothing serious yet, but I am open. "You are allowing the possibility," Diane says. Her smile widens and I feel it land. That evening, I slip into a sage dress. It is a company dinner. I adjust a simple gold necklace and breathe. My reflection stands taller than before. Shoulders back, chin up, eyes clear. 6 months ago, I would have shrunk. I would have made myself small. The banquet room hums when I arrive. My department head waves me forward. There she is, front table, she announces. My results to the team. Client scores highest in the company. The Reynolds account asks for me again. Applause rises and I let it reach me. My cheeks warm, but I do not deflect. Thank you. I am proud of this work. A woman beside me asks about family. My stomach does not twist like before. I say we are taking space for now. With my sister, we are building honesty. No shame in my tone, just truth. No excuses to fill the quiet. Sometimes family is complicated, she says. Yes, and sometimes it is exactly as it seems. The weekend brings Diane and Uncle Frank. They land in Seattle to see me. We gather in my living room with takeout. Boxes scatter across the coffee table. Uncle Frank lifts a glass of red wine. To Amanda, he says, for choosing real family. Diane adds, to the family you build, not only the one you were born into. We clink glasses and let it sink in. The truth settles warm and steady. On Tuesday, an email appears. Sierra in the sender line stops me. My finger hovers, then I open it. She says she took over the mortgage. They weren't happy, she writes. Dad even said to ask me for help. She told him she's established. Just not used to standing alone yet, she adds. She admits budgeting is harder than she thought, but more satisfying than she expected. I think I understand now, she writes. I read those lines twice. She says our parents want to visit. She told them it was my call. They want me to let the past go. She says she is starting to try. She asks to visit alone if I am open. My reply is short and real. Not ready for them yet, but yes to showing you Seattle in spring. I close the laptop and stare at the dusk. I weigh the line between grace and guarding the heart that pays the price. Sierra seems changed by the truth. Our parents do not seem to move at all. What would you choose? I ask myself. Rebuild with those who refuse to change, or pour into ties that keep your limits safe? I look out at the lights of the city and choose the path that protects peace. I choose to water the people who honor no, and to hold the door half open for anyone willing to meet me with respect. Next spring can hold a visit on my terms with clear lines. I set the kettle for tea and exhale. Freedom tastes quiet and sure. I send Sierra a smile in my mind, then turn back to the life I chose. Tomorrow, I will run by the water and watch the mountains wake. I will keep building what is mine with people who clap when I win and stay when I say no. I turn off the screen and smile. The future answers softly, yes.